10-minute mysteries. The Nimitz encounter. It's November 2004 off the coast of San Diego. A US Navy FA-18 Super Hornet is on a routine training mission at 24,000 feet. Commander David Fravor, Top Gun graduate and commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the Black Aces, with over 16 years of flying experience, looks down out of his cockpit window and sees something that will stay with him for the rest of his life. It has no wings, no markings. It's roughly the size of a city bus and shaped like a tic-tac. It's moving in ways that should be physically impossible. He would come to learn that the Navy's own advanced radar systems had been tracking numerous objects exactly like it for days. The USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group was running training exercises 100 miles off San Diego, one of the most technologically sophisticated military formations on the planet. A nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, numerous guided missile cruisers and logistics vessels, dozens of aircraft, including a full fleet of FA-18s with state-of-the-art radar, preparing for overseas deployment in the Middle East. On November 10th, a few days before the main encounter, the USS Princeton, the strike group's missile cruiser in charge of warfare readiness, began picking up anomalous contacts on its state-of-the-art Spy-1 radar. Objects appearing above 80,000 feet, nearly twice commercial airliner altitude, essentially the edge of space, and then dropping almost to sea level in seconds. No sonic boom, no logical flight path. The trajectory would have required thousands of Gs, enough to turn a human being to soup. Operators ran diagnostics again and again. Everything checked out. The objects just kept appearing. Senior Chief Operations Specialist Kevin Day, who was in charge of the radar systems on board the Princeton, later described watching these objects drop from the upper atmosphere, basically to just above sea level, in under a second. For context, the SR-71 Blackbird, the fastest aircraft ever built, topped out at Mach 3.3. What the Princeton was tracking appeared to travel at well beyond Mach 30, with effectively instantaneous deceleration. For days, the phenomena was logged, noted, and actively ignored as it wasn't interfering with the busy training programs. That all changed on November 14th. Commander Fravor and Lieutenant Alex Dietrich, along with their weapons systems officers, known in the Navy as WISOs, were redirected from their standard training run to investigate an unknown contact some 60 miles ahead of the fleet. They had no weapons, no sensor packages. This was supposed to be a basic flying exercise. What they found has been described in consistent detail across dozens of interviews, official statements, and, ultimately, congressional testimony. Fravor told Dietrich to hold altitude and provide overwatch. He then banked down towards the object to get a better look. The ocean below was disturbed, white water churning in an area roughly the size of a Boeing 737, as though something large and cross-shaped was just beneath the surface, and hovering above it, an object that was white, smooth, and oblong, about 40 feet long, moving erratically, darting left then right, ascending and descending in a pattern Fravor later described as akin to a ping-pong ball. As he got closer, it mirrored him, climbing as he descended, keeping the distance constant. He cut inside its turn. The object stopped, paused for roughly a second, and then moved with impossible speed, heading instantaneously for the horizon. No acceleration curve, no sonic boom. It was just gone. Now low on fuel, they turned back. En route, a radio message from the Princeton astonished them. The object had reappeared 36 miles away at their cap point. Combat Air Patrol position, a prearranged, classified coordinate, a specific latitude, longitude, and altitude known only to the personnel in that exercise. The object's ability to almost instantly appear at those exact coordinates has baffled Navy officials and investigators ever since. Could it read their computers, their minds, anticipate the future perhaps? Once he was back on deck, Fravor sent a second pair of FA-18s to investigate. It was their sensors that captured the footage that the world would eventually see. Here's what separates the Nimitz case from most other UAP reports: the volume and the quality of the evidence. First, the FLIR 1 footage, captured by the second FA-18, finally declassified and officially released by the Department of Defense in 2020. Available right now on the Pentagon's own website. The object is visible and behaves in ways that defeat the sophisticated targeting system's locking mechanisms. Second, the witnesses. Commander Fravor, Lieutenant Dietrich, her co-pilot, numerous radar operators aboard the Princeton, multiple data handlers, all corroborate the exact same account independently. Third, and this is the part that rarely gets airtime, the data removal. Shortly after the incident, 2 individuals arrived by helicopter from the US mainland. No insignia, generic flight suits. They went directly to the Princeton's captain and within minutes had removed the radar data tapes and departed east. An unknown destination back on the US mainland. No explanations. Unfortunately, so much of the corroborating evidence simply disappeared. But fortunately, not all of it. In 2020, the US Navy officially confirmed the Nimitz footage, as it is now known, is genuine and depicts a real, unidentified object. In 2022, Commander Fravor testified before the US Congress. He was alongside Navy aviator Ryan Graves and David Grush, a military veteran who served for 14 years as an intelligence officer in the US Air Force, retiring as a major. His career centered on highly classified intelligence operations and special access programs. The highest caliber of testimony imaginable. Under oath, Commander Fravor testified that what he encountered was far beyond anything in the US arsenal, or for that matter, any adversaries. The skeptical debunking explanations exist. Radar anomalies, atmospheric distortion, a classified drone program. Each has been examined by people far more qualified than me, and none cleanly accounts for what was reported and recorded. The extraterrestrial hypothesis is the one that many people reach for. It's on the table. But being unidentified certainly does not mean alien. It means unidentified. By definition, a genuine UAP. What we can say with confidence is that something tangible was in that airspace. It was tracked by multiple independent systems, witnessed by experienced, credible, professional military personnel, performing maneuvers that our understanding of physics simply cannot accommodate. It was acknowledged by the US government as unexplained. When asked what he thinks, Fravor still says he has no idea, but he does know with absolute certainty it was real and far beyond anything we know how to build. He later retired from the Navy to work with a highly classified government program and has said publicly that we aren't even speculating about systems with these capabilities and probably won't be for years. The Nimitz encounter didn't start the UAP conversation. That's been running for decades. But it changed it permanently. When a Navy commander testifies before Congress that he saw something utterly inexplicable, and the government confirms it cannot explain it either, that question stops being fringe. Whatever this is, foreign adversarial technology, perhaps something much more exotic, stranger, the phenomena appears to be watching us, particularly around nuclear and military assets. It deserves serious attention. It deserves your attention. We'll be back next week with another case. And as always, keep your eyes and your mind open.